Old man laughed at for buying a wedding dress. The real story leaves the entire store in tears. The laughter in the store. It was just after noon when the door to the bridal store swung open, and an old man, his clothes worn and faded, stepped inside. His hands shook slightly as he held a crumpled note in one hand, his face a mixture of hope and uncertainty. The bell above the door jingled softly as he walked toward the counter. A few customers, dressed in wedding gowns, glanced up and quickly exchanged skeptical looks. The man appeared out of place. His wrinkled hands, his old leather shoes, and the gray hair that framed his face told a story of a life lived long past the carefree days of youth. "Can I help you, sir?" the saleswoman, Jennifer, asked, her tone polite but clearly surprised. The old man looked up, his eyes searching. He had no intention of answering the unspoken question of why he was here. He simply cleared his throat. I, I need to buy a wedding dress." The entire store fell silent. Several customers gasped, and one of them let out an incredulous laugh. The tension in the room was palpable. The old man didn't seem fazed, though his face flushed with embarrassment. Jennifer hesitated for a moment, her professionalism kicking in. "Of course, we have many options. Could you tell me what you're looking for?" she asked, motioning toward the array of wedding dresses. I, I'm not buying it for myself," he said, his voice soft, almost breaking. "It's for my daughter." The laughter stopped. For a moment, there was only the sound of fabric rustling in the background. Jennifer blinked, taken aback by the vulnerability in his voice. She noticed the old man's hands shaking more now as he set the note on the counter. "I'm looking for something elegant," he continued, his voice steadying. "Something that would make her feel like a princess." Jennifer nodded slowly. She didn't know what to make of the situation. She had seen all kinds of customers come through the door, young brides with dreams of fairy tale weddings, nervous mothers of the bride, but never someone like this. "Of course," she replied, her voice softer now. "We'll find something special." As Jennifer led him to the section of dresses, the customers who had been whispering and laughing to themselves slowly quieted down. A mixture of curiosity and uncertainty filled the room. What was the story behind this old man buying a wedding dress? The story behind the dress. As Jennifer showed the man various dresses, his eyes drifted over the luxurious fabrics. He ran his fingers over the delicate lace, the satin, and the pearls that adorned the gowns. His movements were careful, almost reverential. It was clear that this was no ordinary shopping trip. The old man wasn't just looking for a dress, he was on a mission. "Sir, can I ask why you're buying a wedding dress for your daughter?" Jennifer finally asked, unable to hold back the question any longer. Is she getting married soon?" The old man looked at her, his eyes heavy with something deeper than sadness. Regret, perhaps. He cleared his throat and took a deep breath. He glanced at the dresses in front of him, but his gaze seemed distant, as if he wasn't really seeing them at all. "It's a long story," he said slowly. "A story that's taken me too long to realize I needed to tell." Jennifer waited, but didn't push him further. She had worked in this store long enough to know that sometimes people needed time to open up. The old man's next words came with a quiet, painful weight. "I wasn't always a good father," he confessed, his voice shaking. "I made mistakes, big ones. I wasn't there when she needed me. When she got older, I thought I could just fix things, but by then, she was already gone." Jennifer felt her heart tighten. She wanted to say something, to comfort him, but instead she stood still, waiting for him to continue. "She was my little girl," the man continued. "Her name is Lily. She's the only family I have left. I never gave her the life she deserved. I was too busy, too selfish. And now, I don't have much time left." Jennifer's eyes widened in realization. "You're—" "Yes, I'm dying," the man interrupted. "Doctors told me it's only a matter of months. But Lily, she doesn't know. I didn't want her to know. She deserves to remember her father as a man who loved her, even if I didn't always show it. So I promised her something." Jennifer stood frozen, her breath catching in her throat. The man's eyes filled with unshed tears. "I promised her a wedding," he said, almost too softly to hear. "I promised her that before it was too late, I would give her the wedding she always dreamed of, the one she never had."
The promise of a lifetime. Jennifer stared at the man, her heart breaking for him. He had come here not because he could afford the most expensive dress or because he thought he could impress anyone. He had come here because, after years of regret and guilt, he wanted to give his daughter something beautiful. He wanted to give her a day she would always remember, even if he couldn't be there to see it. But why a wedding dress? Jennifer asked softly. Why not? Just a party? A celebration? The old man chuckled, but it was a sad, wistful sound. She never had a wedding. Not the way she deserved. She's always wanted a fairy tale. She used to tell me, when she was little, that she would wear the most beautiful gown and marry her prince. But I never gave her that. Not even close. Jennifer felt the weight of his words, the depth of his sorrow. It wasn't just about the dress, it was about redemption. The man wasn't buying the dress to show off or impress anyone. He was buying it to make amends, to show Lily that, in the end, he cared. In the end, he loved her. The store, once filled with whispers and laughter, now felt quiet and heavy. Customers stood frozen, their own lives and petty worries suddenly seeming so insignificant in comparison. Jennifer handed the old man a dress, simple, yet elegant. It was exactly what he needed. She could see it in his eyes. I think this one might be perfect, she said, gently holding up the dress. The old man's face softened. Yes, he whispered, his voice trembling with emotion. Yes, it is. Thank you. Jennifer could see the old man's hands shaking as he gently touched the fabric. She could see the love in his eyes, the pure, unspoken devotion. This wasn't just a purchase. This was a father's last attempt at making things right. A legacy of love. A few weeks later, the old man returned to the bridal store, a big smile on his face. He had come to thank Jennifer, to tell her that Lily had loved the dress and had worn it at their small, intimate ceremony. But there was something else. He had brought her a letter, and in it, he told Jennifer that Lily had been diagnosed with the same illness he had, only months before. Lily had only a few months left herself. As Jennifer read the letter, tears filled her eyes. The old man had not only given his daughter the wedding she had dreamed of, but he had also given her something even more precious, the chance to feel loved and cherished in her final moments. In the end, the dress was never just fabric. It was a promise, a redemption, a legacy of love. And when the man left the store that day, Jennifer knew that, despite all the struggles, he had given his daughter something priceless, a memory that would last forever.